everybody, and welcome back to the Chaos Protocol! I am so freaking excited to see all of your digital non-existent faces in the chat of Transplanar RPG. Now and forever, we are an all transgender, people of color-led, dark fantasy actual play channel telling stories set in an original, non-colonial, anti-orientalist multiverse. This means that we stand against genocide and ethnic cleansing and support all oppressed peoples of this world struggling against injustice, imperialism, and colonization. We must use our voices to build solidarity and fight for the worlds we wish to see. So to that end, free Sudan, free DRC, free Palestine, abolish ICE, free all oppressed peoples of this world. Thank you. And thank you all so much for showing up to support our story. Let's get chaotic. So, if you're watching this right now, you are witnessing the live recording of Arc 4, Episode 8. Sam is back from fair break, so we're only going to be streaming one episode tonight, which means that tonight's episode and last week's episode form a single stream. Just 1 hour of one half of a usual stream of that good Connie Torment Nexus. Yay! We are currently co-streaming on Twitch and YouTube Live over at Transplanar RPG, and all VODs will be uploaded to our YouTube channel for your viewing pleasure before being eventually uploaded to Vimeo and the Internet Archive. But first, please allow me to introduce my yummy cast for the evening. Sam Starr.
I'm scared about yummy. That makes me feel like something bad's gonna happen. Hello, everyone. I am Sam Starr. I use she, they, and the occasional they pronouns. And tonight, I have the bestest pleasure in the world of playing everyone's favoriteest baby girl, chronologist and healer, Lumira, who uses she, her pronouns. What's going on, boss?
It's me, boss! I've missed you saying what's going on, boss, to me. I'm so excited about this duet episode, Sam. To start off our announcements, a massive thank you to our two major sponsors for Arc 4, Hero Forge and the Working Families Party. Hero Forge is a website where you can design and print your very own custom miniatures. They now offer 3D printed custom dice, which sounds pretty dang cool to me. You can put pretty much anything from Hero Forge into the clear material of the die and still get a perfectly weighted chunk of math rock. Also, we are currently in the midst of their biggest sale of the year, their Black Friday sale. So all physical miniatures and accessories are 20% off, and all digital miniatures and STL files are 50% off. This is like a huge sale, so if you were kind of on the fence about getting something, like now is the time to do so, and it ends in early December. So if you want to get yourself a little treat this season, consider going to Hero Forge by bit.ly/transforge. If you are going to shop, please use that link, bit.ly/transforge, and tell your friends to use that link. As for the Working Families Party, they are a progressive third party in the United States, building a multiracial coalition of working class people to make our communities a better place to live for everyone. We can take an action together right now to effect change by signing their petition to break up big media companies and join their mailing list at bit.ly/WFPtrans. Finally, a big ol' thank you to Chepaku for letting us use their scenes for this arc, as well as a big thank you to Explain Trade and Frivolous Bear Studios for being our channel-wide sponsors. Over to you, Sam.
Another huge thank you to our Patreon precepts for supporting our show. Thank you to Azra, Brooke, The Bow System, Lyle and Peanut, Main Man 13, Mark J, Micah, Robert Burke, Rose, Sergeant Danes, Spectra, Spencer, Taylor, and Zoe. Join their illustrious ranks and help us smash our member milestones at patreon.com/transplanarrpg.
That's right. Speaking of ways to support us, have you been meaning to pick up one of our hoodies, a tote bag, or a classic tee from our merch store? If so, you're in luck, because we're running our annual winter sale on our merch store, and all of our goods, every single one of them, are 20% off with free global shipping. This sale is going to last until Monday. That is December 1st. That's coming up. That's literally in 2 days. So stock up on gifts for yourself, your friends, your pets, and or your parakeet. Use exclamation point merch in chat if you are Twitch, if you are on Twitch, or go to transplanterrpg.shop to enjoy these savings. 20% off! Go check it out.
That's one hell of a deal. And last time on the Chaos Protocol. Strike Team Nova descend into the labyrinthian Henai Pearl mine. They encounter water-stealing coral and other trouble before they find the remains of an underground saltwater oasis. They settle in to rest, but their dreams are plagued by nightmares. Suddenly, the team wakes as Amira takes the drifter's hand and disappears. And that's what you missed last time. Use exclamation point recap in chat to read our full written recap document. And off to Connie, lastly, for some self-care tips.
Self-care tips time! The Chaos Protocol is a dark fantasy series that may contain content that is triggering for some viewers. So content warnings for this session may include fantasy violence, survival and scarcity, environmental collapse, apocalypse, storms, interpersonal conflict, grief, and references to classism and revolutionary violence. If you're in the Twitch chat, use exclamation point CW at any time to get a look at these content warnings. And if you are in the YouTube Live, our mods will be posting these content warnings in the chat, so keep your eyes peeled there. Now for the title of tonight's episode. It is Thy Worship Kill, from Waiting for the Moon to Burn by Connie Chong. And with that out of the way, let's begin. At high noon in Hane Bay, everything has three shadows. The dock workers with their salt-kissed linens and rough skin stained with sweat. The oracle aunties squatting by the pier cawing at passers-by to learn a future or two. The servers of various izakaya tossing out last night's trash and shooting the shit in shaded alleyways. Even the gulls soaring in lazy circles beneath white-bellied clouds each cast three tiny shadows onto the capital city of Hane Bay Prefecture. Above the clouds, the triple suns of Keseki smiled down upon this sprawling harbor city. The warmth of their long-reaching rays suffuses everything, from the granite cliffs that tumble down into pink sand beaches, to the glittering waves of Kagayaku Ocean and the fishing boats that bob upon them. Beneath these boats, a marine paradise blooms, with colorful shelves of coral, shoals of undulating briarfish, and neon ribbon eels flashing in and out of hidden crevices. A cold sea breeze wafts across the whitecaps, bidding the waves to crash against the rosy shores of Hane Bay. Docked at the wharf, a fisherwoman, upon a flat-bottomed shanban, pours her abundant catch into large woven baskets. Meaty bow crabs, all snapping claws and wriggling worm-like horns. Dozens of other boats are docked beside her, bustling from a busy morning of fishing, trapping, and trading. It is here, amidst dock workers carrying baskets of processed fish and magistrates tallying the day's catch at designated checkpoints, that a small pocket of reality shimmers, bends, and unfolds to reveal you. Lumira. You were in a nightmare. And then you were awake. And now you're here. The drifter stands before you, hazy and immaterial, half illusory. Your arm is still outstretched toward them, but your hand now phases through theirs as though they were a mirage. A strange, warm, glitching sensation washes over your skin from the point of contact, as though you were submerging your fingers in living static. Your eyes, your pupils, they contract reflexively from this sudden influx of light. In the cave with Nova where you woke, it was dark, oppressively dark, and now it's bright, oppressively bright. There are 3 suns above your head, for fate's sake, and it's loud, too. Fisherfolk shouting amicably, the ocean lashing at pink sand dunes very close to where you are, and behind you and above you, mopeds and buses guttering down switchbacks carved into windy bluffs. Colorful houses with sloped roofs of ceramic tile squat along these cliffs, and even from this distance, you can see laundry hanging on wash lines, each piece of clothing like a tiny ghost waving at you from a past you barely remember. And the smells. By the 16, the smells! The crisp, salty tang of the ocean, the clean and briny smell of freshly caught shellfish, the mossy scent of the sun-warmed granite cliffs behind you. These scents are new, but deeply familiar. A bustling community raised in the lopsided smile of a bountiful ocean. There's no mistaking it. You stand in Hane Bay. The exact same place where you were, where you are, should be, but the time here is older. This is a version of Hane Bay that used to be, that was, that became something else. You can feel this difference in time, deep within your bones, a certainty carved against the clockwork gears of your soul. This is Hane Bay before it was swallowed by the dust. A decade before it happened, at least. As your hand slips out of the drifter's palm, how do you arrive in the past? And what emotion does the drifter see in your face?
I think at first it's a mix of discombobulation and being startled, mixed with a speckle of fear, almost lacquered over the top of it like a freshly polished wooden floor. It takes her a second, her blinking and stumbling a bit to try to right herself before her head starts whipping around in every direction. It would be comical if it weren't this tinge of frantic anxiety that is layered over the top of it as she's staring around before her eyes target onto this glitch apparition. She's not 100% sure because the drifter has never interacted with her like this before. They've never been in the same area together for as long as she's been known for them to come to her. Did you just fault me?
The drifter's faceless face had been studying Hane Bay, their eyeless eyes, scanning the horizon, scanning the docks, the workers, and you notice that though the people bustle around, some of them glance at you, kind of taking you in. You're a little overdressed. It's rather hot, and all of your layers here, you're starting to feel them kind of droop on your body. Most folk here have very few layers on, if any at all. But, looks of curiosity and openness quickly give way to whatever task they were focused on. But you notice that none of those eyes linger on the drifter at all. In fact, their gazes just move right past their glitching body as though the only person that can see the drifter is you. And the drifter hesitates before they respond to you, and when they do, their voice almost sounds distracted for a moment as they seem to be looking around at this vibrant world. And then they turn to face you with those expressionless eyes, or lack thereof, and they say, Yes, I did. I vaulted you here. Good, you're all in one piece.
What do you mean all in one? But take me back!
I can't do that. Actually, that's part of the reason why I brought you here, so you can learn how to do that.
And when Lumira hears that, all of that initial ire, that venom that was behind her words dies down. And now her eyes are curious. Her left eyebrow quirks. And she stands back, settled in it, almost as if she's sizing the drifter. Now, all of the time that I spent in Inferno looking for you, you show up now, and now is the time for the lesson. Zainan and Sayir are in trouble back there, and Yinga.
I don't need to justify myself to you, of all people, but there was a reason I could not reach you in Inferno. For the same reason that I can reach you here, time and space are funny like that. There are boundaries, localized bubbles of reality that even a chronologist can't fully breach. But that's neither here nor there. I brought you here for a reason. To teach you a skill that you are going to need very soon. So I cannot waste my time or your time by explaining things that frankly don't need to be explained right now.
And Lumira steps back and splays her hands out in front of herself, as in, well, by all means, get started.
You see the edges of the silhouette shift a little, as though they were adjusting their weight from like one leg to another as they look at you, and then they continue to speak. They say, "We are in the past. 16 years before your present, to be exact. The dust hasn't happened yet here, but it will. It's already started. They just don't know it. As you very astutely picked up, I brought you here through vaulting. If liminals are the basics of time magic, then vaulting is the advanced course. When you vault, you leap backward in time. In the present, to the other people around you, it's as though you disappear. Here, in the past, time continues to move forward at the same rate as the present. So if you spend 5 minutes in the past, then 5 minutes elapse in the present as well, and those are 5 minutes you can never get back. Vaulting creates a paradox. You see, we as mortals, we're not supposed to be in two places at once. It's impossible. So, if you vault back to a time where you still exist, then the fabric of the journey corrects this wrinkle by folding both of you into a single entity. So the version of you that vaults will subsume the version of you from the past. If it sounds like a death, that's because it is. We do not do this lightly. I have taken you to the past to see if you're strong enough to get back to your future. I will teach you how it's done, but you must bring yourself back to the present if you wish to see your friends again. Are you ready to begin?
Wait. So what you're saying is, the version of myself from the present that jumps back to the past supersede the other?
That's correct.
Okay. Well, that is not how I thought this worked at all. Okay. What else?
I am going to ask you for a lot, Lumira. This will not be easy. Vaulting itself is an advanced technique, and the way you are doing it will be hard. But I am only going to push you this far because I know you can do it. because you, frankly, cannot afford to learn it the easy way. As Croner, just how ironic it is that the resource we use and value the most we have so little of, time. But if you do this, when you do this, you must be able to do it flawlessly, without exception, under even the most difficult of circumstances. So this is a trial by fire. You will push yourself. It will be hard. It might even hurt. But it will be worth it. It has to be worth it. Do you understand?
Lumira looks like there's so much information being thrown at her, so she's digesting it. And she nods. It's timid and subtle at first, but the more she does, the more she lulls this information and lets it sink in further. Her nodding becomes much more vigorous and frantic and sure. Okay. Trial by fire.
Good. This is how vaulting works. And the drifter leans over and picks up a length of sailing rope off of a nearby crate. They hold one end of it and they say, "This is your present." And then they rip off this end and they place it on top of the other end. And they say, "This is vaulting. You take yourself out of the present and you go to the past. However, the longer you stay in the past, the longer your future hasn't happened yet, and the more likely it becomes that it never will. You have a finite amount of time in the past before your future," and they rip the rope at the place where the two ends are stacked. Disappears, and they crumple up the rope. If this happens, then you can't return to your present because it doesn't exist anymore. This is rule number 1 of vaulting, the law of residuality. Don't overstay your welcome. Understood?
So, forgive me for asking questions, but I want to make sure I understand this. So, present me goes to past me and supersedes past me.
Correct.
But the longer I stay in past me, the future, and Lumira references the rope that was crumpled in between, that gets shorter and shorter until it no longer exists.
That's right.
So then that means from that point, moving through that past future is starting anew again.
That is correct. Once you've overstayed your welcome, gods forbid, you can't return to the future that you came from, because
it no longer exists.
It no longer exists.
Those effects, those bits and pieces of what happened that led up to present me from past me, those events no longer happen, so it rewrites itself.
Exactly.
Fate's
this is the journey.
Unravels.
That's right. This is her journey. This is all of our journey, and there is only ever one of it. That's why this is a paradox. Vaulting back in time is a paradox. That's why only one of you can exist at any time, any point in time. You can stay in the past for a little while before the threads of the journey try to correct this wrinkle, but you can't stay for too long.
Do I get a warning? Does it matter what it is that changes?
That's our next lesson. And yes, you'll be able to feel it As a time mage, we are attuned to the flow of time all around us. You will be able to sense when you've lingered in the past for too long. It's different every time you vault. And the distance of time you travel affects how long you can stay. You cannot stay for very long if you travel back 100 years, but perhaps you can stay for a little bit longer if it's only 1 year. Still, there's no hard or fast rule to this. It's inconsistent and it varies. Time magic is both a science and it is also an art. It is imprecise. And it depends on our relationship to time more than anything else.
Okay. All right. Where do we start then, I guess? And Lumira's again looks so just like she's gotten thrown 2 entire units the day before a final exam. So she's trying to grasp all of this and remember it, but there's still so many questions. But she figures the Drifter will show me at some point, right?
And as though reading your mind, the Drifter says, I'm going to show you now. Because we've lingered here a little too long for my liking anyway. So, your first task right now is to bring us forward in time. Just a little. Not too much. At least, not to start. Lumira, focus on the time that suffuses this place. Center yourself, wash away all distractions, and just listen. And then once you hear it, pull yourself forward through it. Through her. It's like stepping across a threshold that you have already been invited into. So don't force yourself, but don't linger on the doorstep either. Just go. Now. And Lumira, what does it look like as you heed the Drifter's instruction?
Lumira closes her eyes and her breathing slows, almost as if her body is mimicking sleep. And her rigid posture falls. And then she feels it. It's this churning deep from right underneath her belly button that goes straight up her sternum and sits directly beneath her rib cage. And it churns and churns and broils over until it hits this reverberating feeling, almost as if a clock has been wound all the way to where it can't be anymore. And then it's a click. And time and space, the environment around her warbles and shifts and bends before she's gone.
Lumira, as you dig deep and the churning within you turns and turns, there is a physical ticking noise coming from the pocket watch attached to your body as we see under the surface of that glass the hands turning in perfect synchronicity to the churning within you. And we even see underneath your clothes, glowing upon your skin, that birthmark moving across your body, also turning in perfect resonance with the turning within you. It burns, but not in a way that hurts. It feels right. It feels like it's a core part of your soul, of who you were always meant to be. Click, and you vault. So Lumira, I need you to roll to vault here. This is going to be a special roll. We're going to make it as though we were making a skill check. So we're going to build a pool as usual, but the threshold will be hidden from you.
Fun.
So you don't have situational advantage, but you are getting assistance from another character. That's the Drifter. And you are harnessing a relevant tool or power. I'll let you decide whether that's your innate chronergy or the pocket watch.
I'm going to use that as my innate chronergy.
Perfect.
I think this comes a bit more internally now.
I love it. The first time you rely on intuition and instinct above all. So roll me 3d20 and tell me just what the results of all three of them are. Small money.
A 10, a 10, and an 11.
Okay, that's perfect actually for this first check. Yes. So space and time bend around you. Things don't slow down or speed up as though you were creating a liminal. All of the colors, all of the sounds, all of the shapes and shadows and light, they just blur into each other. Almost as though you were in a slipstream again inside the Kestrel. That's the closest comparison you have for this. There's a whoosh when you're in this tunnel of pure sound, pure light, pure time. And for a second, you see it in this transitional phase. You see her. You see the streams, the sands of time, clockwork gears, and in the infinite and tiny spaces between them, it's her. And then you land. Lumira, you stand in the exact same place, the shore of Hane Bay, with those triple suns shining in the sky above your head, but there's something different about this city. Something wrong. The water is farther away. It is no longer a few dozen feet out of reach, lapping at the pink sand dunes beneath your feet, but hundreds of feet away, a deep recession from what used to be the harbor. Dry docks extend into the deep, sandy slopes of Hane Bay. Ships are moored against these dunes, tilted on their sides, their vessels cracked from disuse and dust. There is dust now in the air, a thin film of it ever present, a gray haze that persists across your vision, obscuring the far distance in its dull shimmer. It eats at your skin with a dry, desiccated eagerness biting into the soft flesh of your exposed face, your hands, your arms. There are still dock workers here, but they are few and far between. Their bodies now wrapped tightly in linens, their hands covered in gloves, dressing a little bit more similarly to how you are garbed now. A single gull circles overhead, cawing hoarsely, and in the distance, bobbing upon the waves that still undulate at the far edges of the bay, you see the outline of boats. So many boats crowding the ocean, an armada of boats desperately plumbing the sea's riches for food and sustenance as the dust begins to trickle in. Next to you, the Drifter lifts their head. Though they have no eyes, you get the sense that they are looking with gravitas and sorrow at this gray-tinged vista before you. And when they speak, you're not sure if it's to themselves or to you, or perhaps both. Just a few years. That's all it took. Just a fragment of time.
This was just a few years?
4,
Oh my...
to be exact.
4? And Lumira says that with so much weight and disbelief behind it. There's no way that this type of erosion could have happened in just 4 years. This is decades worth of drought, and it was just so lush. And oh my God.
The apocalypse came for this place quickly. The magic of it is so strong here. Too strong.
This was Oblivion?
And then the Drifter's faceless face tilts up at the mention of Oblivion's name. As though on instinct, as though remembering something just now, as soon as you say Oblivion. And they freeze. And you see why. Because there it is. The seed of annihilation. The black hole. The size of a coin. Looming in the distance like a perforation through reality itself. And Lumira, what really grabs you is that it's exactly the same size as it was, is, will be, in your present, after you crash land on Keseki.
No, it would have to be closer than this. It was in the exact same spot. Now? And she says now questioningly, like she doesn't know whether or not to call it the past or to refer to it as now. She understands where she sits amongst the rope that the Drifter used to explain this to her. But that doesn't add up.
Vaulting by itself is a paradox, but depending on where and when we go, we do draw on the fabric of reality to make it happen. And here, there is a cost to using time magic. One we have to be careful about.
Not to pull from your own life force. To pull from someplace else. And when she says that, her face drops and her eyes go wide in realization. I have to pull on what's left here?
Yes and no. Lumira, you need to be careful. And there's a glitch in the Drifter, and an X, a red X, cuts across where their face would be. They let out a noise as though they were hurt, burned, injured briefly, and when they come back into space in front of you, they go, ugh. No, I can't tell you. I can't. We have to focus. We have to refocus. I have to tell you the next rule of vaulting. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Rule number 2. The law of reverberation. The more you change the past, the harder it becomes to return to the future that you came from. Look at the water out there, Lumira. Do you see how far it's gone? How much it's retreated from the shoreline?
Yeah.
That water is your present, the future that you came from. The more you change things, the farther it recedes into the distance until it slips out of reach. And when you pass that point of no return, the future you came from disappears, just like the law of residuality.
Hold on. So, the longer I stay in the past, the more I can mess up the future.
Yes.
And the more I change in the past, I can do the same?
That's correct. Because both of these things threaten destroying the sequence of events that will have led to the future you came from.
Oh.
But it doesn't mean you can't change anything at all. There's a fine needle you can thread here, Lumira. You need to know your limits so you understand when to push when you're in the past and when not to push. Over there, look. Those sailors gutting fish. By the time I'm done speaking, one of them will accidentally cut her hand. Very badly. Her friends know first aid, but it won't be enough. It will get infected, and she will die in a few months unless someone intervenes. And that's when you hear a pained, ah! And sure enough, a fisherwoman shoots to her feet next to the dry docks, grabbing at her now bleeding hand. And her knife, which is stained with fish guts, clatters to the ground. And you see her friends leaping up in alarm, one of them already grabbing a bandage that you see is just streaked in dust and motor oil. And though you cannot see their eyes, their face, their expression, you can feel the drifters' gaze on you, their expectation. Do you change this, Lumira, or do you watch and let it happen?
No, I change it. That's gonna get infected. That bandage isn't sanitary. Wait, don't. And she will run in the direction away from the drifter, in the direction of the fisherwoman.
Yes, you run towards the fisherwoman who's grabbing at her hand. The wound itself is not life-threatening, it's just quite gnarly, bleeding a lot, and her friends are crowding around her. One of them is moving the bandage toward that hand, but as you shout out, they all look up in alarm and turn toward you. And for a second, your voice sounds like it does coming out of your mouth, and then you hear a kind of staticky distortion coming from your pocket, and your voice still sounds the same, but now a look of confusion momentarily that came over the fisher people's faces turned to understanding. And when they speak to you, you can understand what they're saying, even though a part of you logically knows that they're not speaking the same language that you were speaking. And one of the fisherwomen, the one that was holding the bandage out, goes, What do you mean she's bleeding? We have to stop the bleeding.
Yes, but you need something clean. That's just gonna infect it. And Lumira will reach into her pocket, into her first aid kit and some of her rations that she has for a fresh gauze. Hold on. And we'll dig around some more in her first aid kit for, of course, like the antiseptic ointment and things like that. This is gonna burn, I'm sorry. And like pour some cleaning solution over it. Put this in your hand and give like a grip of gauze to like a ball of gauze for them to grip on to help staunch the bleeding while she staunch the bleeding enough that she can put on a clear, like a clean, thick bandage.
Oh. Clamshells and cockles, that burns. But thank you.
You're
Are you
welcome.
a medic?
Yeah. Yeah.
Really? You know, we have need for a medic. Are you just traveling, passing through? There are people getting injured left and right nowadays. We can pay you money, good money.
No, it's okay. I'm actually on my way back to school right now myself.
School? They still have schools open nowadays. Well, which prefecture are you from? Maybe we can hitch a ride with you.
It's and Lumira tries to recall something from what Sinan has mentioned. And go ahead.
I was gonna say, all you can really recall from Zidon as you're flipping through your perfect eidetic memory is a place called Haruna Valley.
It's way off in Haruna Valley.
Where?
It's a ways away from here.
It must be. I've never heard of it. Wait, I think I've heard of it. It's got Haruna City, right? Yeah, that city that was by a lake, but it must be dried up like everything else. And the other fisher folk start gabbing and gabbing as you finish tending to this woman. They kind of like fall into very comfortable rapport among each other. And then this fisherwoman who you just helped suddenly turns back to you and says, "Oh, well, wait, at least take this." And she reaches into a woven basket by her side and carefully fishes out a pearl. Beautiful, gleaming pearl, and she insistently tries to put it into your palm, and something about it feels very familiar. Very familiar indeed.
Are you sure? I know this costs a lot. You can get so much with this.
Well, maybe 4 years ago I could have kept this from that pearl miner I used to date and maybe made a new life for myself somewhere not here, but nowadays pearls are barely worth anything. Everyone is trafficking in fish and meat and steel and medical supplies, like what you have, and water above anything else. But please, it's all I have really, but it's not gonna take any skin off my back. I gotta pay you somehow, right?
You don't have to, but I appreciate the sentiment. Thank you. And she'll take the pearl and looks at it because it is so familiar.
And it feels familiar sitting in the palm of your hand, though it's only a pearl and not very heavy at all. There is a weight to it that presses against you, a weight that harmonizes with the churning gears beneath your sternum. Something about this pearl is connected to you, to Nova, across time and space. It feels important.
Thank you. I appreciate this. Keep that clean, okay?
Yes, I will.
Or as clean as you can.
Thank you again, and what's your name?
You can call me Lumi.
When you say Lumi, just this nickname but not your full name, you feel something strange, Lumira. It's like you were in a tunnel up until this point, but you hadn't noticed the walls closing in. And as soon as you say Lumi, you feel the walls. You can't see them. If you look to your left and you look to your right, you don't see them at all, but you feel them. They're only in your peripheral vision. And you sense time, yes, pulling at you, and you remember the Drifter's words about not knocking things off course too much. Here, by saying this fragment of your name, you've started to veer off course, but you're not fully off of it. And the woman goes, "Lumi, that's a nice name. Oh, you got a last name, by the way? I gotta send my thanks somewhere else, maybe to your family." And from a few feet away from you, you hear the Drifter go, "We have to go."
I don't have a last name, I'm sorry. I have to go.
Oh, okay. Take care, Lumi. As you
too.
Return to the Drifter's side. And the Drifter, glitching, staticky, that black silhouette cut out of space and reality, you see a nod come from where their head should be. And they say, "Good. Saving her life here does still keep your future intact. But as you have sensed, it would not be wise to share much more than that." And the Drifter indicates the pearl wrapped in your fingers. That holds the key to your future.
This?
Yes.
Okay.
You can sense it too, can't you? It's connected to your timeline.
I felt a weight to it, but I should just keep it safe. And Lumira will drop it in her front breast pocket next to her pocket watch.
You need to put that pearl where it needs to be, or you won't be able to go back, because the sequence of events won't have happened exactly as they should have happened. But not all is lost. Come, follow me.
Okay.
And the Drifter leads you down this length of much wider and longer beach now. And as they do, you see their staticky foot phase through something half buried in the dust, close to where you had phased in and out of existence and jumped 4 years, you see a frayed piece of rope cut in 2 places, buried in the dust, that you stride past. And eventually, the drifter leads you to a familiar entrance along one arm of the cove. And eventually, the drifter leads you to a familiar entrance along one arm of the bay. The yawning mouth, the aperture to Hane Cove. There is a low layer of water that ripples into it, barely enough to just kiss the tops of your boots as the drifter glitches their way into this cavernous entrance with you tailing close behind. And they wave their arm for you to follow as they glitch down this slope that leads deeper into the cove. And there's a strange kind of deja vu here, because you're in the exact same place that you will be many years into the future, but you're in the past, but you're also in a present of sorts. As you follow the drifter's staticky, glitching footsteps down through these tunnels, and eventually you see the water level start to rise as the tunnels slope down more and more and more, until eventually the seawater starts reaching up to your ankles, and then up to your knees, and then all the way up to your waist, drenching you from the waist down in this icy cold ocean water. But it never goes taller than your waist. As you continue to wade, you notice the drifter not making any ripples through the water at all, as though they were a hologram just phasing through the liquid. But they move as though they can feel the water with weight around them, and you do remember how they were able to physically manipulate the rope. So it seems they're both able to affect what's happening here and also not, that whatever boundaries are keeping them close to you and also separating you are both porous and mercurial. Lumira, how do you navigate through this space?
I think Lumira navigates through waist-deep water how any person would navigate through waist-deep water. She walks with a quickness to keep up with the pace of the drifter, who does not seem to at all really be affected by the water like she is. But her steps are also sure and timid in some spots, as she's trying to make sure that where she steps is actual solid sea ground and not another patch of something that could sink her in deeper. So, do you pick and choose what you can interact with?
It's not that simple. There are rules I have to follow, too. All of these laws apply to me and more. I can't say more than that. Trust me. Or all of this is going to collapse.
Okay. I trust you. You're only giving me information as you are able to. Wild time now, but hey, we're in it. So, can't make big changes, can't stay too long.
That's right.
What else can you tell me?
There are 2 more laws I need to show you. I need to teach you. But first, wait. And the drifter pauses, stops in front of you. Do you feel that? There's a thread connecting that pearl to where it needs to go. I can sense it, but only you can tell exactly where it is because it's your pearl.
Lumira reaches into her breast pocket and pulls out the pearl and stares at it very intently for a bit before, much like how before she vaults, she closes her eyes and grips the pearl in her hand. Before she opens her eyes back up again and sees the song. And the song is missing. It's missing a bar. Right exactly where that pearl is supposed to be. She places the pearl directly into that missing stanza.
And where that stanza is a brachiating piece of coral. Treasure coral. That's what these animals are, that were harvested by these pearl miners, whose grumbling voices you can hear echoing from deeper within this tunnel, forced to excavate and mine for their corporation, even in these waning years of Keseki's prime. You see this arm moving physically toward your fingertips as you unfurl this pearl, and this brachiating piece opens up, the tube widens, and you deposit the pearl into the entrance of this arm, and it swallows it. And you can hear the pearl rolling down the length of this tube as the arm then kind of unfurls away from you, like a flower petal moving toward a sun. It closes and furls back in. And you feel that resonance, that note placed where it should be. It rings in space and time, and it harmonizes deep within you. And you feel a great release and a relief settle over you.
That's... Wait a second. And I think Lumira turns to the drifter in that moment and goes, am I the reason Sayer found that pearl down here?
I cannot say for sure yes or no, but I would suspect yes.
Holy shit.
Yes, holy shit.
She looks absolutely, her flabbers have been gasted to the max. Like, just...
I know. This sort of thing just keeps happening the more you do this. Come on, follow me.
Oh, okay. All right. Holy shit.
But you hear a tinge of humor coming into the drifter's voice as they lead you back out the way you came. And you hear them say, I remember the first time I did this too. It was a holy shit moment.
And you just master this, right? This is just...
It's not that easy. With any skill, the edge of it is honed with practice. Even for chronergists as naturally gifted as you are and as I am. Up the slope. It's time to move.
Okay.
The drifter leads you back to the entrance of the cavern, looking out over this mostly desiccated bay, still with that gleaming horizon of water in the distance. And the drifter says, you need to step through that door again, Lumira, and this time you have to push yourself harder. You are still 12 years away from your present, and the longer you stay here, in this cove, on this beach, the farther away your future retreats. So I need you to reach for it now. Push yourself.
Okay.
8 years, Lumira. Push yourself 8 years. But this time, look at the top of the city. The top of that cliff over there. To the east. That's where you're going to go. Step through time, step through space. Envision yourself there. Now, go.
Okay, okay. And she'll
Lumira.
Take a quick breath, close her eyes, and let it come to her again.
We're gonna make the same roll as last time. The difficulty is still hidden but it is harder this time. You do not have situational advantage. You have assistance. You are harnessing irrelevant tool or power, so that is 3d20 total. Go for it.
A 7, 11, and a 14.
Yep, yeah, that's sufficient. So, Lumira, the same thing happens. You feel that internal churning within you, that winding, and this time you're also conscious of your pocket watch winding up, and you can feel the gears of your birthmark winding and moving in synchronicity. So how is it slightly different the second time versus the first time that you vault?
I think the gears have a bit harder time moving. It's almost like they're bigger in a sense, but they're being manipulated by a tiny little wheel that you really have to put some elbow work into helping complete its complete rotation.
Perfect. Yeah, you muscle just a little bit harder because you're not just vaulting through time, you're also vaulting through space. You're envisioning, like the Drifter's telling you, the top of that cliff, the peak of the city, envisioning yourself going there, being there, 8 years forward, and just a little bit, a quarter mile away, and time bends. Space bleeds into itself. Sound and weave, song and thread coalesce in this tunnel around you, boom, and then this time, you are not in the same place as before. When you land on top of a cliff, overlooking the now completely desiccated semicircle that is Hane Bay. And the dust is bad. Very bad. It's thicker than it was all those years ago. Thick clouds of it swirling through the air in a symphony of muted gray. All around you, these once colorful houses that were built into these granite bluffs are now half buried in flaky grime. What few windows are exposed are shuttered, boarded up, nailed shut. From your vantage point, you don't see anyone out and about. The docks are completely abandoned, and there is no ocean anywhere near this bay. You think you can maybe spy a silver line of seawater on the far distant horizon, but it might be a mirage. And as you scan your vicinity, you notice a small flurry of movement. Someone peering at you from behind one of those boarded up windows who quickly ducks out of sight as soon as you lay your eyes on them. And it appears that there are maybe still folks here, but they've become reclusive, suspicious, isolated, nothing like the fisherwomen that thanked you and welcomed you in and spoke with you. All of the light, all of the life, all of the community of Hane Bay, all of it is gone. Just like that. The only other indication of life here is a holographic billboard built into one side of the cliff face, half drenched in dust. The power has long since run out, but you can still see words scoured, burnt into the retina display of this billboard with the same weak message. Last call off-world. Final shuttle departs from Nephrite Station in Okinai. And the drifter beside you says, "At least in your nightmares, the world dies quickly. That shuttle left years ago."
How? There are people still here. Don't they know that not everyone would have had access to be able to get away? They just left them here?
Of course they did. I guess the cost of all of it wasn't worth it.
The cost of life.
That's right. There are mortals in this world that are very, very powerful. So powerful that Well, the things they do, the things they can do, affect much, much more than just themselves.
How do they just let their community die? Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
No. It doesn't make sense to me either. It never did.
How are you so calm about this?
I'm not. But I have to stay focused. We have to stay focused here.
Right.
Or all of this is going to collapse.
Focused. Lesson number 3.
And the Drifter's eyeless eyes flick up, and at the same time, what grabs their attention grabs your attention too, Lumira. Above both of your heads, bathed in a sheen of gray, is the singularity. The black hole. The seed of annihilation. And did it get larger?
Is it closer?
Or is it just your eyes playing tricks on you? Is it just your lingering nightmare trying to fool you? Because how could it be bigger? How could it be bigger here in the past? No, it must still be the same size. And yes, it is roughly the size of a coin like it always was, just a rather large coin.
Does that move every time we do?
The Drifter stays completely silent.
Fuck.
And then they say, "Don't look, but remember."
And she's been trying so hard to stay focused. So hard to keep that laser-like surgeon precision, her tunnel vision, that one-track mind on what the task is at hand. But at every goddamn corner, it is right there. Like the devil over her shoulder. Like the monster at her back, that thing in your closet that goes bump in the night when you're trying to sleep. She can't shake it. So she tries to put on a brave front in front of the Drifter. She doesn't want them to think that she's less than. She is not able and capable to handle what she has been gifted with. But that anomaly scares the shit out of her. And it just keeps getting scarier.
Again, as though reading your mind, the Drifter says, "Whatever you are feeling right now, whatever emotions and hesitancies that might be distracting you, it might be impossible to fully ignore them. But I'm going to tell you the third rule now. And your mind, you know it. Just keep it swimming forward toward it. You can do it. Focus on the lesson for now. Everything else, you'll deal with it later, like you always do."
Focus on the task at hand.
That's right.
Everybody has a job. Okay.
Rule number 3. This one concerns the relationship between time and space. When you vault, you can travel a distance equivalent to what you could physically cover with the same amount of time that you vaulted. So, if you were to vault 1 year into the past, you can essentially teleport anywhere in the world that you would be able to reach if you traveled for 1 year. However, there are some important limitations to this. The distance you can cover directly correlates to what you are capable of traveling in a certain amount of time, and the distance you would have traveled still affects your body. Look at that silver line in the distance. The thing that might be the ocean. The thing that is probably a mirage. It would probably take you 10 days to get there on foot. You could vault right now, 10 days into the past, and get there. But you would feel just as tired as if you walked for 10 days on your own. There's a second limitation you need to remember. The more familiar you are with your physical destination, the more likely you are to actually get there. When you're moving through time and space, you need to keep the limits of your body and mind in check. Otherwise, you might end up somewhere you don't want to be, inside of a wall, stuck beneath the ground, split in half by a passing ship you didn't know would be there. If you don't know, truly know, where you're going, you might find yourself dead instead of at your destination. This is the law of relativity.
Okay, so what happens if where I'm trying to go has somebody standing there?
They might die, you might die, both of you might die, or you might fuse.
Fuse?
Pray to the gods that that doesn't happen.
Okay. So, how do you account for that then?
It's an art, as much as it is a science. Always remember that. The better you know where you're going, the more accurate your vaulting can be. If you're vaulting wherever, whenever, the chances of failure become astronomically high. But if you are confident, you know every step of the way, you know this place, you know this time like the back of your hand, then more times than not, you'll succeed. But there is always, always the possibility of error, of accidents, of failure. Nothing is 100% assured.
And this has been tested.
Yes. But there aren't too many chronologists, not at our level in the journey. To fully test all of this would take perhaps more time than we have. And more blood and lives than we are willing to spend.
Okay. So, watch how long I'm there. Don't change too much. And to always make sure I know where I'm going.
That's right. Residuality, reverberation, relativity.
Residuality, reverberation, relativity. Good.
There's one more law I need to teach you. Right now, we are 4 years away from your present. And we've spent about an hour in the past already. So, it's time for your final lesson. It is impossible to vault into a future that hasn't happened yet. We've been able to vault forward through time because all of this has already occurred. But after you return to your present, you cannot keep vaulting forward. It just won't work. This is called the law of recursion. The theory behind why you can't vault into a future that hasn't happened yet is quite interesting. It has to do with free will and the design of the journey and the very nature of reality itself. But you are, as always, late, and we don't have time for that right now. All you need to know for now is that you cannot vault beyond the present. Everything else will come with time. You will get the answers that you seek. You always have.
I always have?
Or maybe you always will. God, all of this is so confusing. This is your final test, and it is one that I cannot help you with. And they glitch. A red X again. I need to go. And so do you.
What?
You need to vault 4 years into the future, all the way back to your present. Lumira, envision where you want to go. Hold the destination in your mind. Use all of these laws I've taught you that you've executed flawlessly. Put them to use. Move your body through the door of time and space. Focus. Do it now. Ford the river. Bend the song. Now go.
And Lumira will close her eyes. When she closes them, she has almost like a perfect replica battle map of where Strike Team Nova was resting. Where Sayir and Yinghe were laying, over where Zynon was desalinating water, to the section over in the corner where she was sleeping. And once she sees that, she physically points all of her effort, all of her energy, all of her chronergy directly back to her sleeping mat, where she was.
Back in the cave.
Back in the cave.
Perfect. So, I need you to make one last roll to vault through time. Hidden threshold. This is going to be the hardest one, with a also hidden number of successes that you need. So, no situational advantage. You are getting assistance. I will say the Drifter's final word of advice to you counts as assistance, even though they're vanishing in this moment. You are harnessing irrelevant tour power. 3d20. Roll them bones.
A 9, a 19, and a 17.
No 5s or below. For no reason.
Nope.
Okay. Heard. You were headed toward the cave, right?
Yeah.
Lumira. Space bends. Time collapses. Your body, mind, and soul invert and spring forward, and you feel yourself realign in space and time where you should be, where your present is, which is the future of this place, which is coming closer and closer and closer to you like a rubber band snapping back into position. And Lumira, you are not in the cave.
Fuck.
You are not with Nova. You are not with the Drifter. You are alone, and you are in the middle of the storm. Dust howls around you, ripping at your skin, tearing at your lungs, thrashing your body, mind, heart, soul in every direction and no direction at all. I need you to take 1 hit point off of your character sheet, just a strike. You lose another hit point. You are standing on solid ground, at least you think. The dust is everywhere. Oh my gods, the wind is everywhere, howling, screaming bloody fucking murder at you. You can't see more than a single foot in front of your body. If you stretched your arm out and risked snapping it at the elbow from this howling gale, the tips of your fingers would be swallowed by it. How do you try to fend off this choking, screaming, whirling dust?
Lumira pulls up her hood a bit more to cover her face and pulls up her face mask, pulls her hat down a little bit further and tilts it closer over to the front of her face to kind of cover or attempt to shield as much as she can of the dust from her eyes.
It's still biting at you. It's eating at you. You mutter under your breath. You can't even hear your own voice. The gale rips your voice out of your mouth as soon as the word leaves you. It's like you're screaming literally fruitlessly into a void that hates you. And for a moment, you are alone again. Just by yourself. There's no one around you. It's just you, terribly alone. The dust eating at you, screaming at you, wanting to pour itself into your lungs and subsume you within its desiccated grasp. And then, in the distance, or is it close by, you hear a noise that is decidedly not the wind. It is a shout. The shouting of a familiar voice. And that voice is calling your name. And we're gonna end the session there. Woo! Yeah! Thank you all so much for tuning in to Arc 4 Episode 8, the special duet episode. Sam, it's time for introductions. Why don't you take us away?
Hey, I'm hurt. Nope, I'm not kidding. I actually am hurt. Hey, I was Lumira, I guess. Damn, Connie, that was so good. I literally forgot outros. I was Lumira. I am Sam. Sam is the person who plays Lumira. You can catch me all across the interwebs. At Lust for Life X. More specifically, where the butterflies do fly blue. Take us home, boss.
It's me, boss. Thank you all so much for tuning into Arc 4 Episode 8. With this stream, Chaos returns to our regularly scheduled double-header Arc 4 programming. So our next session is a regular stream with 2 halves next Saturday, December 6th at 8 p.m. US Eastern Time on Twitch and YouTube Live, featuring our full cast once more. Yay! Fun fact, for this paper strip time travel demonstration that I did, I tore up a extra piece of material that I had from the Paxu Godkiller playtest. So this is technically a playtest moves sheet that I used. How fitting! Godkiller is being used to demonstrate how to fuck with time.
I'm so feral about the time magic demonstration. That was so good.
Me too. Literally, me and C spent this past week 5 hours deciding how time travel, nailing down how time travel would work in this show. And we were like gremlins at each other at the kitchen table, how does it work? We were drawing maps and diagrams, and then we tore up a paper towel and we were like, wait, what if this? What if we bent? What if we folded? What if we did this?
You should have
and we
saw
were like,
me in my dramaturgy meeting with C. I was like,
yeah,
mind blown. Amazing.
Yeah, we figured it out. Which does mean that we are doing a gentle retcon of some lore that we dropped back in Arc 1 episode 20 something. So if you're like, wait, didn't Abina Zusher's journal say this thing about vaulting? Ignore that. Ignore whatever Abina said about vaulting. That's not true. We're just retconning that. We're probably going to edit the podcast episode that contains that to redact it. Because at the time, we didn't really know. We didn't nail down all of the exact cosmological implications of time travel. And C and I sat down, we were like, that's not gonna fucking work. Given everything we needed to do, that's not gonna fucking work. So we're just retconning that. So please play along. If you could tell us, please. Literally, we were like, could we make it work? What if Abita Zusher was a time traveler from the future past, or blah, 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 blah. But we were like, oh, no. No. So we were just trying to figure out a bunch of random theories, crackpot theories to make it work. C is screaming at me to not say what our thought process was because they're so worried I'm going to spoil anything, but I'm not because these are just random theories. Anyway. C is having a conniption in the backstage. You should never let Connie be on the mic for this long. Anyway, in the meantime, my good friends, you can support our show. You can support our show by joining our Patreon, joining and participating in our Discord, making fan works if you are so inspired, posting about Translator on Blue Sky, Instagram, or Tumblr, rating our podcast, buying merch from our merch store, and most importantly, telling someone else about the channel. Your friends, your family, your homoerotic enemy, your barista, your dog, your cat, your horse, your parakeet. And please ignore the Tom Holland I almost pulled there. We're gonna just skate on by. We're gonna just skate on by. C looks so stressed. I'm so sorry, C. But thank you all so much, Translators. I will see you on next Saturday.
Tom Holland is so funny.
I'll see you all next Saturday, December 6th, for Arc 4, episodes 9 and 10, featuring our entire Chaos roster. In the meantime, stay tuned for a word from our sponsors, because we're going to roll those ad reels at the end of this, and then we're going to raid someone really awesome right now, no doubt. In the meantime, Bijo.